Hello and welcome to episode 62 of Retro Recall the PS1 Chronicles, a show where we play and rank every PlayStation game ever created. My name is Jimmy, and as always, I'm here with Mike.
Hello.
You know, I brought this up before, and I have to look to my second screen to read the intro and the outros. You think I would know them by now.
I know, for almost a year into this now, it's just like, oh no, we're past a year now. And it's, oh yeah, we don't have this memorized.
I just always worry that I'm going to mess it up. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm staring at it. But yeah, so this is going to be a bit of a weird episode, I think.
We say it all the time. There's so many times that people don't get to hear that before an episode. We say we don't know how we're going to drag this out the entire time. For real this time, I don't know how we're going to do it.
Well, that's the thing. We say that and then we're like, oh, you know, well, there's something we can latch onto. With this one, there's a few things we can talk about, but like, I can't see this episode being more than 30 to 40 minutes, but I don't know.
Yeah, so, I mean, people will know when they see the time code, but if it is a shorter one, sorry, like, we just can't talk about a lot on this one.
Well, I've been going back and forth on that, and I mean, we can just talk about this in the episode, I guess. Like, you know, we're talking about doing sports games and stuff like that, and I'm like, do we just want to go all in on one game, like the first in the series, and just really go all out with that, and then maybe the next few will be shorter? Not shorter, like, the next few will have a bunch of games, so we can cover them shorter each, and then just, like, combine it. Because, like, with NFL Blitz, with some of the other ones, the episodes just end up being super long. Like, Tony Hawk is a long-ass episode. We could have covered each of those games individually, for sure.
Yep. And now we know, I guess, going forward, when we get to Tony Hawk 3, Tony Hawk 4, it's one of those, we never know how long an episode will be going into it. It's like, oh, it's a skateboarding game. How much can we really talk about for one? And that's why we did two. The Blitz is like, oh, we're pretty sure this is just copy and paste through every single one. And we were wrong. So we just never know.
Yeah, and I also am kind of the mind that there's nothing wrong with a shorter episode. I mean, obviously, if an episode is going to be 15 minutes long, that's a problem. But I don't think that will ever happen.
No, and if it is, that's when we throw in a second game on top of it. I think we did it before. I can't remember which one, though. Oh, like the kart racers.
Yeah.
Like, we knew that, like, the Lego one wasn't enough, so we had to throw in a second kart racer on top of it to fill out the episode.
Well, that's also, though, an example of that episode is very long.
It is, yes.
Like, we could have just done one of each, but I don't know. I go back and forth on it.
What we're getting to is we're really bad at estimating how long an episode's going to be, so we're always off every single time.
Yeah, I mean, I think going forward, unless it's something that is very easy to see that is going to be short, then we should just do one game. But like for this one, we're doing two games because there was no shot that this could be two different episodes.
Not at all.
But yeah, so just to get started before we hop into the game, I mean, we're going to be talking about You Don't Know Jack and Jackbox this whole time anyway, so it doesn't matter. But have you played the newer Jackbox games? Because I've played them a lot.
That's surprising. No, I mean, I've seen it on like streams or something of people playing it. It's just never been one of those things. I feel like for those types of games, you need a group of people that are like, well, they're party games. So you just need the people involved. And I've just never been around people who would be interested in playing those types of games. So I just never had the chance.
Yeah, I think most of the time I've played it has been with the band because you have 5 people right there. So that's, more than enough. Yeah. Funny enough, we're doing a stream after this and we're playing Jackbox. So I'm going to bring up that we just did an episode on You Don't Know Jack.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I also really enjoy watching streamers play it. Like Northern Lion plays a lot with his friends and it's very funny to watch. And, I think part of the fun with the newer ones is, you're just trying to be edgy and get your friends to laugh. Because that's kind of what it comes down to. Whereas like this is a straightforward trivia game. So it accomplishes different things, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's more or less like this is more like Trivial Pursuit, while the newer versions go away from that and do their own thing.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of Trivial Pursuit, like, do you like doing trivia? Do you like trivia games? Like, is that something that you think is fun?
For a short amount of time, yes, but it makes me realize how much I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you get that too?
Yeah. You're like, am I just stupid or am I just like buckling under pressure because I definitely know the answer to this?
Yeah, or it's just like, I guess I just don't pay attention enough for everything else in the world. like like even with the, we'll get into it, but there's several times with this, I'm like, oh, I got this. This is easy. And then I look at it, I'm like, I don't know what the answer is. I simply don't know.
Well, it's that, and it's like second guessing yourself, right? Like I do that a lot where I'm like, this is easy, right? And then I'm looking at it, I'm like, is it?
Yeah.
But I used to really like as a kid. You ever play? It was called like Scene It, like SCENE.
I forgot about that. Wow.
Yeah, I used to play that a ton as a kid, and we had like the DVDs with it. So you'd be playing on the
Yep.
board game, and then you'd play a video, and it'd be like, oh, what's the answer to this?
You just unlocked a memory there. I completely forgot about that game.
I have played Trivial Pursuit before, and I'm pretty sure there's like branded ones that are easier than just a straight up regular one.
Oh, of what? Wait.
Trivial Pursuit.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Scene It is still a thing, and I'm assuming there's probably a Trivial Pursuit mobile game, but I always did better with the movie trivia because, like, obviously I'm, knowledgeable about pop culture, I would say, over just general trivia.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. You'll see it in some of our footage that, like, when it comes to music or movies, I'm on point, but anything outside of those, I don't know about it at all.
Now, if they had a video game Trivial Pursuit, which I can only imagine they probably do,
Probably.
like, I would crush at that.
I wouldn't want to play that game with you.
Yeah.
You would destroy me.
I don't know anybody who I could play that with because they probably just get mad that I know everything.
It's like playing Smash Brothers with someone who plays Smash Brothers all the time, and you're just like, this isn't fun anymore.
Literally on tour, they were playing Smash Brothers, and they were so good at it. I'm like, I'm not even playing.
I'll just sit back and watch.
I'm not going to get my ass kicked and embarrassed in front of everybody.
Yeah.
But all right, before we get into the game, one more question. And this is going to be an ongoing discussion, I think. How do you judge trivia in like game show games? Because there's going to be Family Feud, Wheel of Fortune, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you judge these from the era? Because obviously you should not play this game because the trivia is old, right? Like,
Yep.
Does that make it bad? Does that give it a low score?
No.
No?
It you don't think it'd be so weird to give it a bad score based on the fact that we just aren't in that era anymore. Like the whole game is designed to be about things you would know when this game came out.
But by that logic, does that not mean that it's a bad game to play today?
Oh, today.
It's extremely hard to know these answers unless I don't even know unless like unless you're old or like super knowledgeable about these specific things, but like a lot of it is modern events from this time and a lot of it is like stuff in the 90s. Like,
Mhm.
we're older, but we're not that old.
We weren't paying attention to this kind of stuff at that age. Like we were having fun playing games and like not watching like we're not keeping track of celebrities and like learning about like all these things going on in the world at the time.
Like, I think this would be made for people our age in like 2000,
Yeah. But yeah, okay, now I see where you're going with this. Judging it today. See, I wouldn't want to use the word bad game because it's not.
It's
We
dated.
can't say it's dated. So it's would we play it today? No, because now we have updated versions of this game. Are these bad games because of that? No, it's just we wouldn't play them today. It's going to be weird to get the scoring on this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you on that just because, yes, it is technically worse because it is dated. But you can't just be like, oh, it's a 3 because the questions are hard to answer.
I
You know what I mean?
This meant, so I gave it a 2.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to have to be case by case, but like, I would imagine Family Feud, like Wheel of Fortune, stuff like that will be a little easier because it'll just be more general.
Yeah.
Maybe not Family Feud. That might be hard, but one day we'll
Probably.
get to that.
The way I'm going to look at this is the features, the way that the gameplay is, how responsive is everything, how do they present the information. I think that's the way to look at it because,
Yeah.
I mean, there's no story. There's nothing. It's just you're playing a trivia game. So it's hard to really judge these.
I think with that, we should just get into this game. You Don't Know Jack was released on September 8th, 1999. Its sequel, You Don't Know Jack Mach 2, was released a year later on November 6th, 2000. They were both developed by Jellyvision Games and published by Sierra Online. And as we've already talked about a bunch here, they are trivia party games.
Yep. Have you ever played a You Don't Know Jack game like prior to Jackbox, like back in the day?
I have. I played the one that came out in, I think, 2011 or 2012.
Okay. I played it once as a kid over at like a family friend's house. We were all playing it. And so, I mean, that's as much as I knew about it going into this.
So I had heard about it around the time I played the other one. And that was when I was big into playing games on my gaming laptop. So I would play with my brothers a lot. And
Oh, okay.
I mean, we didn't play it a ton. It's not like we played it like as much as I played something like Smash Brothers or Mario Kart or something. But, you know, I do have some experience with it. And that game is essentially the exact same thing as this, just slightly updated. So,
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it looks way nicer.
Looks nicer, but like it just follows the same format from what we're playing today.
Almost exactly. I mean, the voice actor is exactly the same still. And like we talked about, I mean, he's the same guy who does Jackbox now, which is crazy.
It's insane that he's managed to keep that for this entire time.
Because the first game and the second game have two different guys. I think they're both still involved.
Oh, okay. So getting into the first game, I was instantly impressed at how it just feels like you're on a TV studio set. It's just like you get into the game and it's just chaos of people like yelling in the background, like, hey, we need to get this going. The producer's yelling at you to make a decision on how many players there are. It's just mass chaos right out of the gate.
I love the presentation of the first one.
Yep.
Like that, the fake commercials after you finish the game, and even down to like the little intros for each number. It's just like so unique.
Yep. And it's like, it just has a lot of personality behind it too. And it makes you realize like how much they thought about this too, because at the character or player select screen, I purposely did nothing and I waited. And so the guy's like, come on, this is your last chance to choose a number of players. I still didn't choose one. He's like, all right, if you're not going to choose, we're going to continue. And then the game just goes to play by itself. And you can just watch them answer questions. And like, okay, I guess I'm just watching this now.
That's so interesting. I wonder if it's AI or if it's just a video or what.
I didn't give it enough time, but because I didn't want to mess anything up. So I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go back and now select the characters, player select.
I didn't try, but I wonder if you pick, 3 players or whatever, and you just play by yourself. Like, are you going to play against 2 computer opponents?
Oh, yeah. It's weird that they didn't have that as an option going into this. Like, you would think like they would have the forethought of what if you're by yourself playing? Like, there should be a computer aspect to it.
There might be. We should have tried that. I don't know why I didn't even think about it till right now.
I didn't either.
Because like me and you played together, I wonder if you could just select 3 and then the third person would be a computer player,
Yeah. Yeah. Because I felt like games back then were doing that.
I mean, yeah, every party game you play, like you can pick CPU opponents. So I would imagine it's got to have something like that to give you that longevity, because playing this by yourself is not very fun, I would say.
No. If anything, you just use it to learn the questions and learn the answers, and then it gives you an advantage over everyone else.
That's called cheating. I mean, I can see like, messing around if you have a little bit of time to play by yourself. I mean, this is essentially a phone game now. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah. That's what 100%. This is.
Which I guess we didn't say, like, we both played this solo
for
a bit, and then we played together right before starting to record. So,
yeah, I would say in total, I probably played this game for about 2 hours.
Oh, wow. You put a lot of time into it. I would say total with us playing and by myself is by like an hour.
Oh, I mean, I played about a half hour, 40 minutes of each one by myself. And then we played probably close to an hour, I would say.
Oh, are you including the second one in this?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, it's about 2 hours. I thought just the first game.
Oh, no, I'm not that crazy. There's no way I could do that. But Yeah, so are we going to talk about both of them at the same time?
We should, yeah.
Okay.
There's no point in doing it separately.
All right. Well, to our first point then, the presentation. First game has amazing presentation. Second one, not so much.
Down the drain immediately. Like you started and it's like, okay, I know what to expect with after the first one. The second one just turns on and it's like you're in a robotic voice talking to you and like you're in some science building looking thing with all this technology. It's like, what happened? Where's the TV aspect to it?
Well, as you see, it came out a year later. I think that it was just rushed. And also, these are ports of PC games, right? And the PC games came out before the PS1 by probably a lot. And
okay.
so, like, for example, the first game, it's just a compilation of questions from the PC game. I'm assuming the second one is just an updated version of that with more questions. And like the way PC games worked even back then, you could still download stuff. It wasn't, like a console where you have nothing other than what's on the disc. So I would imagine that probably kept getting updated over time with like expansions or whatever. So
that's true. But on top of that, like we talk about the voice actor and stuff. And the first one, from the moment you start, the guy's just ripping into you, making fun of you and like forcing you to go. But then the second one comes around and like it feels all forced. Like it's just obviously a different guy, but like the comedy feels forced. Him trying to rip into you just feels forced. Nothing seems genuine about the second game.
Well, in the first one, it kind of relies a lot on the personality of that guy.
True.
Whereas I feel like in the second one, a lot of the comedy, what they try and do is like bring in other voices.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the time, it's not just him talking. It's like, oh, another person like yelling about something. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that.
Yeah. But it just reminds me of like the guy who like has to like emphasize the joke as he's saying it to like, oh, you get what I'm trying to say here. But the first guy is just like, it's more subtle and it's more like play on words a lot of times. So like there were legitimate times playing the first game that I laughed out loud really hard because it was just really funny jokes.
I agree with you.
And the second one, I'm just like dead faced watching. I'm like, oh, that was okay. I guess that could have been funny. I don't know.
I think it's like not even close, honestly. The first one is so much funnier and has so much more personality. I mean, not just the voice acting, but everything about it, I think, is just more fleshed out. I think that they should have just literally copied it again and just, all new voice acting, maybe some updated like little things here and there, but they could have just did the same thing again. And I don't think we would have knocked it for that.
It's just one of those things of when it comes to trivia, you can just keep getting away with doing the same thing. As long as you're updating the questions, that's what matters.
Exactly. It's like, I'm not going to tell you this fucking Wheel of Fortune game needed to be a huge overhaul or like Family Feud, like we've been talking about. Like those kind of games, they can be the same thing all the time. If they're updated a little bit, it's fine. But like, I don't know, they tried to go for something and it just doesn't land. I think that's kind of what it comes down to.
Not at all. It's little details within the first one too, of just like when I don't know if you got the same dialogue, but when you pick single player and they start the game, like the instant it starts, the guy's like, "Oh, hey, look, you're here by yourself. Guess what? You're gonna win." And like that was just funny. It's just like, yeah, I am. No one else is here to compete against. So
there were so many things of them just making fun of you and just like drilling into you, and it's just so good. I love it.
Yep.
I know. I think that's what led this series to still be around now is specifically the humor.
Yeah, but it's weird with the second game then. Like if that was your thing and the writing is so good, where did that go in the second game?
Now, I don't know the history of You Don't Know Jack, but the one that I played as a kid was still very funny. I thought like it was way more similar to the first game than the second one. It even had the same voice actor from the first one.
Right. And like you said about the same voice actor, I'm pretty sure the one I did, I remember that guy's voice. So maybe they were just like you said, they tried something with the second one, but then it was like, yeah, maybe we should just go back to this first format that we did.
I'm wondering if this first one just sold a lot and they're like, oh, we got to shit out another one really quick. And that's what we got.
Yeah. A big thing too, aside from like the humor and stuff, is the questions. So in the first game, you get to choose a category.
Mhm.
but it's very vague. You don't know what you're actually picking half the time.
No clue. It's usually some sort of pun or joke.
Sometimes through the fun, you can be like, okay, I think this is what it's going to be about, but you don't actually know for sure.
There were so many times where I picked one, I'm like, oh, it's going to be about this, and it's just not.
Yep. I know about this subject. Oh, it's not even about that. So, okay.
Yeah, that word was just included in the joke. It's not actually about that.
Yeah. But then the second game, it's you start the game and it's like, all right, here's your categories you're playing. Like, you don't even get to choose.
So what it is all about one specific topic. So you'll
Yep.
start the game and the whole 15 questions you do, it's all about that. And really quick, the first game you can choose between a 7 question round and a 21 question round. And the third one you don't get, and what am I saying? In the second one, you don't get a choice. It is always 15 questions. And one, I hate that. I like being able to choose. I mean, obviously we didn't choose a 21 question game because that seems like it would take a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we probably could have done one round of 21 and been fine.
We probably should have just to see the numbers.
Oh, true. The different screen. Yeah, probably.
But regardless, I mean,
yeah,
doing 15 questions on a topic you have no idea about is extremely hard. I mean, like, we'll get into this in a second, but like these questions are hard as fuck to answer regardless. But having to do it all on, like, for example, I played 2 games of the second one by myself. The first one was all about religions.
Oh, no.
And the second one was all about books.
That's terrible.
So naturally, like, I got nothing. I mean, like, there's some that are obvious, but it was just so hard.
I only did one round because of how many questions there were. And it was just all toilet humor jokes. Like, it was all about toilets and like going to the bathroom. I'm like, what is this? What are we doing right now?
I prefer that to what I got, though.
Granted, yes, it is the better option now, knowing what the other ones are. But
and then the one that we did today was all about teenagers. That was the bit.
Yep. What a weird category to throw in there.
So we've got religion, books, toilets, and teenagers. Cool. Just so strange. I don't know. I think they definitely tried to make a choice here and it did not pay off, but I don't even know what else to say about it. We're already like getting through this.
Well, okay. So aside from your questions, because I mean, that is all it is just your questions.
Yeah.
You do have a bunch of mini games that you can play, which I didn't know about. So it was interesting to like go through the rounds and be like, oh, what's this new thing that I need to do?
They all kind of boil down to being the same thing, though. It's like,
yeah.
One of them is match this word to this word. One of them is, did this thing happen after this thing? You know what I mean?
I hated that one.
Most of them are just like, is this associated with this?
Yeah. And you really have to know what they're going for. Like the one we were playing together was monkeys. So it's like, what is the name of this monkey? So it'd be like, what was it? Speed Racer. And then names would go by. I'm like, I don't remember the show enough to know the monkey's name.
Well, the one you're watching, when I played, it was the names of the college football games and where they take place.
Oh, God.
And as you can imagine, I'm just guessing.
And the thing is like, if you get one wrong, that's like negative $2,000. So it gets to the point where if you skip a question, you get it again after you go through the rest of the questions. It's like, I'm just negative, I think 6,000, 8,000 because I'm just spamming the wrong thing until I get the right answer.
And that's another thing to note. You get money for getting the question right or for picking the right thing in the minigame, but you lose the money if you don't get it right. And you can just, like in these mini games, you can just repeatedly lose money over and over again. So like you can't just spam it. And then on top of that, it's like, I didn't know until you told me that you can just not answer and not lose money.
I think it was one of the questions that I just legitimately had no clue what it could be. So I just sat there and waited and it skipped by. I'm like, okay, good to know now.
That almost just feels worse than not knowing the answer, though. It's like, I would rather at least try. You know what I mean?
Yeah. After I think I did it just that one time just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
And I kept answering after that because I'm like, I'm not this isn't a competition with myself. I'm already negative however many thousands. It doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, I mean, who cares if you have negative 10,000, whatever? You're just playing by yourself. You still won.
And seeing your scores that you were at negative for all your ending scores, I'm like, okay, I feel good about myself too because I was in the same boat.
Yeah.
When you and I played together and I got 0 at the end of the game, I'm like, this is my high score because everything else has been negatives.
It's so weird. I feel like I did the best when we were playing together.
Yeah. But I think it's because with that, if you go and you guess, well, okay, that's one answer eliminated. So now I have a better chance to get the right one.
Yeah, I mean, usually I would narrow down my guess to like 2, right? And then you would probably pick the other one. I'm like, okay, that's not right. So it has to be this one. And then more times than not, that was the right answer.
Or if I'm going to go and you hit the button before me and you choose the one I was going to go for and it's wrong, I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad I didn't hit that button then.
Yeah, I think this game does really shine when you're playing with other people, which obviously is the entire goal. So you should not play this by yourself.
On top of that, you get a new feature when you play with other people, which is the screw system. So pretty much all that is you get one screw in the beginning of the game. You can use it whenever you want. And it pretty much is if a question comes up and the person doesn't know it, and you know they don't know it, you can use the screw to force them to answer the question. And if they get it right, you lose money because it backfired on you.
I would pretty much do this to you immediately every time because we didn't know any of the questions anyway.
I waited. I held on to mine, and there's one question specifically I saw in the corner of my eye. You just like give this face of like, I don't even know what we're doing, and that's when I used it.
I mean, that's part of the game, right? You got to read your friend and see like, oh, they don't know this for sure. I do wish there was a few more things like that, more than just the one thing, because like that would make it extremely chaotic and way more fun, I think.
Which I think the later games do. They give you more than just one. I think it's like 3, maybe.
3 screws or 3 different power-ups?
Oh, 3 screws per person.
Yeah, I mean, I think there should just be different power-ups. I don't know what they would be, like, but, just something to make it a little more interesting.
If you throw in the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, like 50-50 power-ups or something.
Yeah. Or just like, oh, you give this person 2 seconds to answer, so they better answer quick. Something like that. I don't know.
Which, do they do that nowadays with Jackbox?
I don't think so, but Jackbox games are also very specific. Like, you're playing this kind of mini game. It's not trivia. So, like,
true.
That doesn't really work,
Yeah. Here's my biggest problem, I guess, with Jackbox in general, because I was going to bring this up in the beginning. I'm like, we'll wait a little bit. Even whenever I played it whenever I was younger, you never know what the question is asking of you. So there's so many times, I specifically remember the time I played with the family friends. The question was about Blink-182. I'm like, cool, I know Blink-182. I listen to them all the time. But the way that the question is phrased, you're like, what answer are you expecting out of me? I guess it falls back to even the first game where like they'll ask me a question is like about Beethoven and like he can't hear, so if he's ordering a chicken and then it's this, I'm like, what? It's like I'm in math class and you give me a word problem. Where am I going with this?
Yeah, they rely a little too much on like puns and stuff like that.
Yeah. You really need to like, first of all, know the thing they're talking about and then read through the pun to understand what the question is to then get the answer.
Because you could know the answer and just pick the wrong one because you don't properly understand what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And same with like the Beethoven one, because it's like, oh, if he can't hear and you say pizzicato, but he thinks you say something about a chicken, then what is it? So I'm like translating like, okay, maybe it's like pluck the string because like pluck the chicken, pizzicato, pluck a chicken. I'm like, maybe that's a play on that. Nope, it was something. They actually wanted the definition of pizzicato. And I'm like, fuck, how would I know that?
And you also got to figure all this out in 10 seconds.
I would wait until it gets down to 1 second, then buzz in to give myself an additional 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like when we played, before I could even read all the answers, I'd buzz in so that it prevents you from answering and I could read all the options because I'm like, I think he knows this, so I need to prevent that from happening.
Yeah. I do agree with you, but I think that is also part of the fun in a way because you're just like, what the hell is even going on here? You know, you got this guy making fun of you. You're reading this nonsense, and now you have to figure out what the answer is. Like, I just think it all kind of works together to just be silly. And like, I like that, but it is a little frustrating sometimes.
It might be one of those things that as you play, you kind of pick up on the way they phrase their questions, so it becomes easier.
Mm-hmm.
But to just jump in, it's good luck.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously the modern ones are going to be a lot more fun to play, and I think it has a lot of quality of life stuff. And like, I think the questions are better. I mean, it could just be the fact that we probably know more of them and can understand it, because this is relying on you having that knowledge from the 90s. So it is what it is, but I don't know. I enjoy playing this. Like, it's not like I had a bad time.
Oh no. And talking about like understanding the references too, there's what was it? Was this or that? No. When it happened. I had one that was like, oh, remember just a few years ago whenever there was like an oil crisis, blah blah blah. I'm like, no. what was that?
Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing you could do about that, and it sucks.
No.
But like, I have this one that we're looking at now. It's a Jack Attack where it's asking for brand names, and all the brands are still the same ones we got now. So I was like, I'm in.
There you go. That's the easiest one.
But yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, unless you got any more notes, I got nothing. I mean, this is like, I don't know. This is a weird episode.
The fact that we were able to get through half an hour of just talking about trivia games. Impressive that we made it that far.
I don't even know if this is a half an hour because I can't tell because the way the timing is, because we've been recording for before that. So this might even be shorter than that. So before we get to our scores, let's take a look at a couple retro reviews and see how this game was received at the time. Both games received positive reviews, but almost every review called them inferior to the PC versions, which makes sense.
Yep.
I mean, this is the kind of game that I could just see everybody like huddling around a computer playing, you know?
Yeah.
In the 90s anyway, because obviously, like, I think that this would probably be best with 4 people.
I couldn't even imagine. I was getting mad enough whenever you were stealing the answers. I couldn't imagine 2 other people involved also stealing answers.
Well, one thing I forgot to bring up was, the PS1 only has 2 controller ports unless you have a multi-tap. Yep. So, like, having a 3-player option, I didn't know anybody that had that as a kid.
I did.
You had it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, specifically just for wrestling games, like,
yeah,
have some friends over and we could all play.
There just weren't that many games that had 4 players. Like, there was some, but like, I just never could justify it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair reason.
All right. Well, I have one review for each game.
Okay.
GameSpot gave the first game a 7.4 out of 10. And they said, in the end, You Don't Know Jack is a wonderful experience that is super fun for anyone who enjoys competing and laughing and who knows a bit about Star Wars, Greek mythology, or, well, just about anything. There are enough questions in the game to keep you going for hours without seeing repeat questions. It's definitely a great multiplayer party-style game.
I guess, yeah, we didn't talk about that, of like, especially with the first one. I don't know too much about the second one, but when you and I did the game together, the very final question I had on my own game, so it was an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
But everything else with the multiple selection of which one do you want, they were all new. I didn't see any repeats.
Yeah, and there's also, we didn't talk about this, there's 2 discs full of questions because of all the VO that's required and all that. So they did prepare for you to play this a lot. I mean, I don't know how many hours you would realistically get out of this, but if you can get 4 to 5 hours out of this, just playing questions over and over again, I think that's more than enough.
No, I agree. And as much as you were saying, like, oh, I don't know how much you'd play this game, I think it's literally just I have people over.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to bust this one out. And that's like with the Mario Party. Like, you're pretty much only playing it whenever friends are over.
Yeah, I mean, like we've said before in the past, like, this is not a game that we would ever play on our own naturally. So,
no.
But all right, Game Informer gave the sequel a 7 out of 10. And they said, overall, the trivia contest portion of the game falls as flat as its attempts at humor. The questions are phrased in such a convoluted manner that frequently you cannot even glean what is being asked. This results in you choosing the wrong answer, then being mercilessly mocked by an arrogant simp. Reminds me of my high school physics class. Fun. You know, I didn't know if you were going to bring that up or not. That's why I put that there, but you already brought it up, so.
Yeah, it's hard not to bring, like, I'm glad another reviewer saw it too, that like the humor just feels so forced and it just really, really hurts this second game.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't flow as well. It's not as good, so, you know. But all right, that brings us to our scores. I'm going to let you go first today.
So, okay, we're going to do this a bit weird. We're going to technically do both games separately.
So, you want to each do the first game, then each do the second game, or do you want to do both?
Yeah.
And then we. Okay.
So we'll do the first game. We'll do the average. We'll do the ranking, and then we'll go back and do the second one.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, first one, I absolutely love. We also kind of briefly talked about this. The ending commercials. After you beat the game, you're seeing the credits, and then you have these commercials playing, which honestly feel like it could perfectly fit into Rick and Morty, into that universe. Like,
it kind of reminds me of like the radio in GTA 2, like that kind of vibe.
Oh, yes, that too. I was thinking of like High on Life.
Yeah.
If you go to one of the TVs and they have commercials playing, like these could fit into that universe as well, which is
well,
also
like that episode of Rick and Morty that's all about them watching the TV.
Yes, yeah, the intergalactic, whatever it was called.
Yeah, I love that episode.
So there's so many, like, even once I realized all the jokes in the end, I just let it run, and I was just listening to them, and some of those even made me laugh out loud because of how clever they are and how funny they are.
Yeah.
So because of that, the presentation, the theming they have, and everything, we haven't said anything negative, really.
Yeah.
I think this is an 8.5.
Whoa. All right.
You're legitimately shocked on that one. That scares me.
Well, you're right. I don't know. Okay. Well, then I'm just going to say where I was starting was I was going to give it a 6.5. And I was like, you know, it's good, but it's nothing great. But then I'm kind of thinking about what you're saying, right? And it's what it's setting out to do. It is doing perfectly.
Yes.
It made us laugh. We had a good time playing it together. I think you're right to give it a high score. Just because, like, you know, you're judging it for what it's trying to be, not for like what it could be now or what it's trying not to, whatever. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I'll meet you at, I think, a 7.5.
That's fair. Hey, I got you to raise your score.
Yeah. No, I mean, I always take into account how the conversation goes. And like, it was also very fun to play with both of us. I just think when you get past 8 for me, it's got to be like something I'm going to think about for a long time. I'm not going to, you know what I mean?
I just think what they did was great. We can't harm the score because of the fact that it's old. Like, yeah, the trivia is old. It's just, that is what it is.
You know what? I'll go with an 8.
Wow. Okay.
I think you're right. Because, like, you know, I don't want to be harsh on it for no reason. Like, it's good at what it does.
Yeah.
What more can you say?
Cool. Well, glad that went in my favor on that one because I was ready to be ridiculed. That gives us an 8.25, which puts us up with Tony Hawk 2 and Harmful Park. This goes at the bottom, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Just think about the anger of seeing this list and seeing You Don't Know Jack above Resident Evil and Dino Crisis.
Well, I mean, originally this was going to be tied with the Resident Evil, but you changed your score, so
yeah. No, I mean, legit. I think that it is a good game. You know, for the time, it's perfect. I would go as far as saying it's just like, you know, playing it today is a little hard, and you know, it doesn't have such a crazy experience that I feel like it should go into the real high numbers.
Yeah. With being a trivia game, there's only so high you can go with it.
Yeah.
It goes back to what we were saying about Elemental Gearbolt. Being a leg gun game, how great can you actually get with that?
Yeah, you'd have to do something crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well then
All right,
let's flip and I'll go first on the second one.
Yeah,
But continue with what you're going to
the
say.
same exact thing.
So I think this game is worse in pretty much every single way. How much lower do I go is the question. I think I'm going to go with a 6.5 on that.
I have no arguments. I was going to go around that range of 6.65. I'll
Yeah.
meet you on that and say 6.5.
Yeah, I mean, it hurts it. The fact that like the presentation is worse, the jokes are worse. You can't pick what you want to like. You can't pick the questions. You can't even pick the topic. They should at least give you a couple topics to pick from in the beginning.
You said it perfectly there.
Yeah.
If at least the humor was on point and matched the energy of the first game,
Mm-hmm.
obviously it wouldn't be as high of a score as the first one, but it would help it out a lot more. I think a big thing too we didn't talk about was in the second game, there's times that the guy will do a bit before the question. So you're just sitting there waiting for the question to even come up. And I don't think that ever happens at all in the first game. Like you pick a category, they get to the question, and then they'll do the joke in the bit after the question, but not as you're waiting.
Yeah, and the second one, they'll do a bit before and after the question.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like they just did it wrong. They just were confused.
If it was funny, it'd be fine. But it's just really not.
Yeah. It's really, really not.
I just legit think that the guy in the second one just doesn't have the charisma of the guy from the first one.
100%, yes.
I don't know. I'm just happy they brought back the original guy for the newer ones because he crushed it.
Well, okay, so is there a 3 for the PlayStation?
I don't know. Let me take a quick look while you talk about the score.
All right, well, so while he's doing that, crazy, but we shoot all the way down the list for 6.5. And we're going to tie with Diver's Dream, Power Shovel, Jammer Lammy, Medieval, the Blitz series, Namco Museum Volume 1, and Cooler World.
So the PC versions came out from between 1995 and 2003. There's like 6 volumes. And then the next one after that was in 2011, the one that I was talking about.
Okay.
The only console versions of this are the 2 that we played and the one that I played in 2011. That's it.
Wow.
And that one's on 360, PS3, Wii, and DS.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, pretty much after these ones, there was just nothing on consoles for like over 10 years, which is crazy.
Well, I guess kind of a relief that we're not doing any more of these episodes after this one.
If there were any more than just these 2, we would have just put them in here. Let's be
Probably,
real.
Yeah. That's true.
But yeah, I heard you rally off all these ties, and I mean, I heard what you were about to say, and I think that the bottom.
Yeah, that's anytime there's a tie like this with a trivia game, it more than likely is just going to go at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, I just can't justify putting it above any of these.
Which that will put us at 37, below Cooler World, above Crash 1. Which wow,
that's your fault, not mine.
We were 0.25 off. Come on.
Yeah, I know. All right. Yeah, interesting episode, shorter episode. I think this one's going to have a lot more editing because there's a lot of gaps of us not knowing what to say.
Hey, because I run a clock separately from us recording just to like get a gauge on how we're doing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It says 50 minutes. I mean, so we're cutting it down. We're probably going to be 45 minutes. Still not that bad. I think we have some episodes already down there.
Yeah, I think our shortest episode was like 37 minutes or something.
Oh, which one was that?
I want to say Hot Shots Golf is really short.
Oh, yeah, I think that one is. Yeah.
Well, all right. That is going to do it for us. Thank you so much for watching or listening. If you enjoyed this, please remember to like and subscribe as well as give us a rating on podcast services. We'll see you next week.